welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today's patient, Baltic blue Pothos. I've actually got two of them here. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I actually cut my finger yesterday, pretty bad, on some wire. I thought it was like good, and so I just put like a band-aid on it, and then I was potting up some plants last night with just like the band-aid and no glove on it, and this morning it is very angry with me, so hopefully I didn't do anything to like cause major harm. So anyways, because we are playing in dirt, I'm gonna use some protection today. I feel so terrible that like I let you wait that long, because you definitely have been needing this for a while, so here we are. I did water it the other day, but also the soil is a little dry, which I'm kind of glad, because I feel like it's a little bit easier to get these out of the pots. Oh my gosh, look at that, like we got a root like right here, like let me out, I am too big for this pot. I want to try to take this out. I've been thinking about this like all morning, like how am I gonna do this? I'm almost like, because I like to keep these nursery pots for like reusing, but I don't know, I may have to actually cut this one up in order to get those roots out. Also, like I did notice that there has been some super slow growth on this. Like I said, I've had it for a little while, and I have been, you know, taking care of it for the most part. Like I did go through and like pull out like the dead leaves and stuff, so as far as like that part of the rehabilitation goes, it was done. I just knew that it needed to be like repotted, but I didn't know it needed to be repotted that bad. Let's see if we can like shimmy these roots out. Oh, okay, I think it's gonna work. Oh my gosh. Yay! Oh my phone. Someone's texting me. It's like untangling a necklace. That's what it feels like. Oh my gosh, these roots are like super nice. They feel like worms. Some of you are probably like, that doesn't sound like that feels nice, but nice and thick. Nice and thick. Alright, there we go. Here we are. That is a lot of roots. So I'm gonna try to like break this up a little bit. Like I don't want to do it too much, but it's also slightly root bound. So I do want to like just loosen it up a little bit. This is the best tool ever. All right, so I can just get in there and pull some of these apart. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's a lot of freaking roots, man. That's a lot. Oh my gosh. I'm ashamed to say that like when I first started buying plants that I was not like super into the pothos, but here lately like I've just been like really into them. I like scoured my house for size up, but I could only find one, and so like I have two plants, and I'm like, oh god, what do I do? And so like I didn't want to put it in a 10-inch pot, because obviously if the pot's too big then it can cause issues with root rot. And I'm like, I don't have another pot. Like I did have another one, but it was ugly and like super deep. It was like a bigger, like a 10-inch version of this, and so like super deep, and I just was like, not only is it like an ugly pot, what's my face? Oh, I can't turn my face. This pot was originally like one of those self-watering pots that you get with a plant, and only hole is like this one right here, but since that's not the lowest point, I needed to go in and drill some more holes, so it is no longer a self-watering pot. It is now a, you know, normal pot. So we'll use this for that guy. We will put this one in this 8-inch pot. So I'm actually doing a mixture of my aeroid soil, which is this right here. It's a super chunky soil, with this other like regular soil that I make it's chunky too, but not as chunky as the other one. So I'm just gonna like mix that together, because yeah, I don't know why. It's just, you know, I like to make my own soil. I know what's in it. I know that it's not got any pests in the soil already, and I can control the drainage. So yeah. Place this baby down in here and fill her up. mess. I just literally oh, I can't speak today. I just literally poured dirt in my lap, so that's cool. In there. I feel like I'm just kind of like all over the place this morning. I had like this whole plan of being like chatty Cathy with you guys while I did this repot, because I see that that's what a lot of YouTubers do, and I don't know, it's so hard to like carry on a conversation with myself, but visualizing that like someone else is there that I'm talking to. And that is mainly because I have worked from home for myself for like the past, it's probably been like 7 years, and so like all of my communication is online, so like text message, you know, instant messenger. So I don't do a lot of like verbally talking, like actual talking. Also, I struggle with chewing gum and walking at the same time. Like I feel like I can't like think and talk at the same time. That's the struggle. So if you stay with me, hopefully you'll get to see me grow in that aspect. Okay, so we have officially got this one repotted. Look how nice that looks. Yay. Now this one is gonna need a lot more work. There is some, look at that. Like I literally just got this one. You know, there's a lot of healthiness in here. It's being some drying out, so we'll just trim all that off and yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, my finger is really hurting. I hope I didn't like get like, you know, infected or something, but usually I think, if I'm not mistaken, pain is not a good sign. I have to do a good cleaning on it again after I do all this today. Pro tip, if you get a cut, freaking cover that shit up if you're gonna be digging in dirt. Like that does not make any sense. Alright, this one is definitely giving me a little bit more of a struggle. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Look at those. So that's not as bad. That's not as bad as the other one. I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze. A little squeeze. I'm just gonna set this girl. It's like putting it in a ponytail. You gotta put it in a ponytail and work around. So this past Wednesday, I was a part of a women's like collective group of empowerment. Really cool is that all these ladies, I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, are actually in Canada. And I got to be a storyteller. So like basically what that is someone that like shares their experience and to help like empower other people, other women who like have been through some shit or are going through some shit, and just to collectively like be together and just talk about like what we're going through so that we don't feel like we're alone. We can, you know, see that like we're capable of getting through this stuff too because we've heard other women do it. Almost like therapy session, but like not with therapists. It was really, I don't really know how to explain it. It was really awesome. But anyway, so like I got to be a storyteller, which is intimidating because I don't know if you've been following me long enough on this platform, you know that I have a podcast, and so like being like the host of a podcast is a lot more different than being like on the other end. So like I usually like hand the mic over to someone else to talk and tell me like what's going on with them and tell me their story. And so it's crazy as it sounds, it's a little intimidating to be on the other end of that and sharing like what you're going through and your experiences and your suggestions for people. But that's what I did. I can rant for a really long time. Like if you actually get me going on a conversation, like believe it or not, I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive to like what I just said about like not being able to carry on conversations, but like when you get me going on a conversation, like I will not shut up. Especially if it's on like a subject that like I'm really passionate about, like I could just go on forever. But anyway, so when she originally asked me to be a part of this, I was okay. Like I don't know that I would say I was okay. I've been like teetering on like for a little while and like feeling very like almost like burnt out. And so when she asked me to be a part of this group, like I was like, cool, yeah, sure thing. Like I love like empowering people and like talking to people and spreading like hope and encouragement. And so I was like, super cool, let's do this. I'm on it. Coffee break. Well then like shit hit the fan. I don't know the best way to explain that. But anyways, like I just felt like I was crashing And so I decided to go on a 1-month hiatus from all social media, which can be very intimidating for somebody who is a creator like me and an artist who likes, depends on having a presence online in order to like make money. Like, I feel like if you're not there, then, you know, it's like that fear of like being forgotten or whatever. You know, I struggled with the thought of it, like it was scary, but like I honestly felt like it's like I have to just, something has to give. I feel like I was being pulled in a bunch of different directions, like with the podcast, like trying to keep up that account on Instagram, that account on Facebook, that account on TikTok, that account on here, along with like my brand Jessica James, so like me as an artist, but then also like me as a friend and me as a person. Like I just literally felt like I was being pulled in 100 different directions with the same amount of force, and I was like, okay, like something's like, I'm gonna snap if I don't do something. And so I just decided to like take a month break, like from social media, but like responsibilities really was kind of like what it was, to take that pressure off of myself to be relevant in a digital world or whatever, or just being relevant in general. Like I didn't want to be relevant anymore. So, or at least not anymore, but like just for a little while, like I just needed to take that space away. And so where I'm getting at with the story is, and she like reached back out to me, like I knew I had committed to this, and then I was like, oh God, I have to do this like storyteller thing and like empower other women to like get through their shit. But here I am, like literally going through shit, like feeling like everything was really hard. So before I got to like the really dark place that I've been before, I was like, okay, I need to do something to like prevent this from happening. And so here I am going off on like different directions. Anyway, so like I'm going through this shit, and so she messages me and she's like, hey, or like, we still on for like this thing? And I was like, and like she's seen, because I had made a post that like I was getting off of like social media, and she was like, I seen that you're getting off. I'm like, I'm so proud of you and everything. Like I got so much encouragement from that. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that like if you still wanted me to like talk and be a storyteller for your thing, because like I'm like obviously going through some shit. It wasn't like I was in a place where like I needed like intervention help type thing. It was me trying to like regain control of the ship before it gets to that point. So it was just me like seeing and recognizing that like I was spiraling or on the verge of spiraling, and let me do something so that that doesn't happen. And so I don't, you know, looking back at it, like, I don't know, we're like our biggest critic, and so we're like, oh, can I really be a help of someone when I'm like going through some shit? But like honestly, I think that it's good to hear from people who are going through shit and like are actually in the thick of it, so that, you know, we hear of people who have been through shit and have come out of the shit. And sometimes it's harder to relate to, like if you're in that moment, like, okay, yeah, I hear you went through this, but like, you know, can I really do this? As opposed to like hearing from someone who is like actually like in that moment, and what is it that they're doing to like make themselves feel better or help themselves feel better. So once I took like a different perspective look at it, I was like, oh yeah, definitely, you know, maybe I can be of help to someone. So it was super cool to connect with women who, you know, just want to like see other women like succeed and be happy and live an awesome life. So like it was a really great experience. So no, I'm just gonna cut this off. We're gonna trim it off because we don't want to waste energy on things that are not going to turn around. And that leaf, it's not gonna turn around. So goodbye. And then I got to like share a therapeutic art activity with these women, which was also really fun. And then I got to hear like their feedback on how it made them feel and everything. So that was like super, again, super cool to experience. Her vine's like a little sad, but she'll get some new growth. That was like a super easy repot. I was expecting it to be a lot more difficult than that, but she actually also didn't have as many bad spots on it as I thought she did. Like now this one, like she is just freaking, she just looks so good. I've got some other plants too that need a shower, so maybe I'll just go put everybody in the tub. That was was like a super easy rehab. I don't know. I feel like my last rehab was like way more intensive. And again, these guys look really rough to begin with, but I mean, I know she doesn't look like the best right now, but she will once her leaves start coming back. And these vines are like super long. So she just needs a little love and she'll sprout some new leaves for us. I feel like I got sidetracked with my conversation about that event, and I don't really know if I closed that good. It was a great experience. I think it's very important that we talk about the things that we're going through. It's beneficial for us to like get that out, but also it's beneficial for other people who hear the story. One of the things that I mentioned in the session is that like I feel like every person that I've ever talked to who has ever been through some shit, I can find a little piece of my story in their story. And so I think it's so important that we talk about the things that we've been through and that we share it to help others, but also to help ourselves, because there is definitely power in communication and there's power in connection with other people, especially women. Like we, you know, when we come together and we connect, like that is some powerful shit. So I think I did it. I think I finally like talked about something other than the actual plant during my repot. Thank you for spending time with me and watching my video. And if I don't really know that I really gave you any tips on like how to rehab a plant. This thing didn't really need a lot of rehabbing, so basically it was just up pot and cut away the dead and give it a good water, probably some fertilizer. That was it. Like that wasn't really a serious rehab. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed my little chat with you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. And if you like this content and you want to see more of it, subscribe to my channel, and then that way you can be in the know. And I will look forward to seeing you next week.